Well, don't you just look small? Hey guys, how the heck are you? David DeFranco here from daviddefranco.com. Tim Cook just left the stage of Apple's biggest keynote in a while. I could say it's pretty much up there with the iPhone and the iPad. Maybe not as big as the iPhone, but definitely a mark in between because they announced some pretty awesome things today. Alright, so since they came out with so many new things, I'm splitting my announcement videos, whatever you want to call this, into two parts. So this part one is going to concentrate on only the iPhone portion. So let's get started. So jumping right into details, Apple has officially unveiled the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus. Now I gotta say right off the bat, I actually like the name iPhone 6 Plus very much. I mean, it makes sense. It's nothing gimmicky in terms of titling, because I can't stand when companies choose weird titles for their products. For instance, MacBook Air. At first I hated that, but now I love it. And honestly, iPhone 6 Plus kind of matches iTunes Plus. So they have consistency at least. Now they are available in two sizes of 4.7 inches and 5.5 inches. Now my current iPhone 5S is 4 inches. So going from a screen of this size to something as big as 4.7 inch, that's a pretty big increase. But going to something as large as 5.5 inch, in my opinion, that's a little too large. I mean, obviously it's something I'm going to have to use for myself at my local Apple store, Best Buy, or whatever, and just see how it actually feels in my hand. But speaking in terms of how I'm going to predict my usage, I think 4.7 inches is ideal. And real quick, I gotta say, unfortunately, Apple did go with the whole leaked design with the stripes, you know, the bands going around the edges. Honestly, I think it's kind of ugly and non-Apple-like. Now, I said the same thing when Apple came out with the iPhone 4S, as well as the iPhone 4, and it had those seams in there, and I was like, that's not very Apple-like. But to this day, it's probably my favorite iPhone design. It's just how it is. But still, with that said, the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus, the design of the back is not that great, and the camera protrudes. That really, really bothers me. But anyway, concentrating on the positives, the iPhone 6 Plus does have 185% more pixels than my iPhone 5S does, so that's pretty impressive. The iPhone 6 is 6.9 millimeters thin, and the iPhone 6 Plus is 7.1 millimeters thin. So in other words, these are Apple's thinnest iPhones ever. Now what's really interesting about the iPhone 6 Plus is that Apple's taking advantage of this larger screen and increased real estate by allowing iOS 8 to rotate into landscape orientation from your home screen, otherwise known as the springboard. So if you are getting the iPhone 6 Plus, this means that you can finally rotate your home screen. And that's kind of a big deal. But of course, Apple did not stop there. They're making certain apps take advantage of this larger screen size, such as Mail and Messages. I believe your messages appear on the left, which means then your message content appears on the right. So think like your iPad or iPad mini, but in iPhone form. So in a way, it's kind of like an iPad Nano. Now, the iPhone 6 Plus does claim 24 hours of 3G talk time, and the iPhone 6 claims 14 hours of 3G talk time. Now, this is pretty much to be expected. A larger phone allows for a larger battery, so it's kind of common sense. But still, this is definitely a very welcome feature because, as you probably know, I mean, the iPhones are great. I should say iPhone, singular, just a product line. But its battery life has never been that great. Now, honestly, I've never had any serious issues with my iPhone's battery life unless I'm spending the day in New York City or Atlantic City and, you know, where I'm constantly Instagramming pictures, tweeting updates, and all that good stuff. But for my day-to-day usage, my iPhone 5S battery life is not bad. Now, the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus both include the M8 Motion coprocessor, which is actually designed with fitness apps in mind, and they both include 3 times faster Wi-Fi performance. Now, let's talk camera because Apple has always been outstanding in this category. Now, it's no secret that Apple's not exactly, you know, the kind of company to brag about megapixels. They concentrate on optics and how the phone is going to take advantage of those optics. which in my opinion is the smarter route to go. Which is why they're sticking with an 8 megapixel isolate camera. It has support for True Tone Flash, and of course, it's using an all-new sensor. Alright, so this allows for panoramas up to 43 megapixels in resolution. 43 megapixels. That's pretty big. And what's very interesting is, get this definitely fascinates me from a video editor, content creator's perspective or whatever. The iPhone 6 uses digital image stabilization, as expected. But the iPhone 6 Plus uses optical image stabilization, also known as OIS. And that right there, to my fellow video content creators, is a huge deal. And of course, slow motion video is once again supported at either 120 frames per second or 240 frames per second. And yes, you'll probably see me reference down below because I jotted these notes down real quick and there's no way I can memorize all this right away. Now, the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus both do include a new FaceTime HD camera, and get this, they allow up to 81% more light, which is always a good thing. Now, how much is the iPhone 6 going to cost you? Well, as usual, it starts at $199 for 16 gigabytes. But wait, to mix things up a bit, Apple is finally increasing storage capacities on their iPhone. So for 64 gigabytes of storage, that's going to run you $299, and $399 for 128 gigabytes. This is definitely very nice because we're getting up there with the storage capacities that the iPods have. And then finally, the iPhone 6 Plus starts at $299. Now, of course, you need to keep in mind all these prices that I just mentioned include a 2-year contract. So yes, obviously that means these prices are subsidized, but if you're willing to get an iPhone without a contract, it's obviously going to cost you a lot more. And both the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus are available on Friday, I believe it's Friday, September 19th, and iOS 8 is available on September 17th. So if you're not buying the iPhone 6 or iPhone 6 Plus, because I'll honestly be sticking on my 5S, at least we have iOS 8 to look forward to. So guys, there you have it. That is my quick recap of Apple's introduction of the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus. Now, unfortunately, Apple had some major live stream issues earlier today. It just wasn't working for like a good hour or so, which means I had a bit of trouble taking notes, so I did my best. But still, I do highly encourage you to just go over to apple.com and look up everything for yourself. That's probably much more reliable, and I'm just making this video to share my thoughts, that's all. So guys, that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your continued support, and I will see you in my next video, which is all about the Apple Watch and Apple Pay. I'll see you over there. Peace.